Here's a thought. Could all of this talk about Syria, the constant news coverage, the midnight sound bites from the Oval Office, all just be a cover-up for and distraction, distracting you from Obamacare and the unemployment rate, which is actually rising? Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show. I myself have made several videos about it. I don't apologize for that. I wanted you to know what's the real deal. But when you step back and take a look at it, it all just came on so suddenly. And talk of World War III, when I made a couple of videos that said, is Syria so serious that we need to start talking about going to World War III over it? And the answer is no. There is absolutely no way that Syria is even remotely so serious that we should start talking about going to world war over it. There is nothing in Syria, nothing about Syria, not even the conspiracy of a conspiracy of a conspiracy makes Syria important enough to go to World War III over. So then, if you take a step back and say, hey, Syria is not that serious, then you have to stop and think, hey, what is going on? And what is going on was Obama was getting his butt handed to him with Obamacare. He's trying to delay and delay and delay, which he really does not have the power to do. And Congress really was getting on him about saying that he's going to delay this and that. He doesn't have that authority whatsoever. Even by executive decree or executive order, he doesn't have that power at all. Only Congress can do that. He only has to enforce it. He is the enforcement branch of the government. So, unemployment, let's take a look at that. Unemployment's real numbers are at, the official rate is hovering around 7%. The U6, that is the people who are not collecting unemployment checks, is hovering around 14%. And the real unemployment rate, this includes black people, young people, old people, what have you, is 23%. Labor participation rate is at 60%. That means the people who are working in the United States, only 60% of them for working age are even in the labor pool. That means that 40% have dropped out of the labor pool in some shape, form, or fashion. They don't want to call that unemployment. They want to call it non-participation because it could be they are disabled or something like that. And even if they wanted to, those people could not work, right? So, but the real statistics are at 23%. Well, let's go across the pond. United Kingdom, unemployment, 12%. Youth unemployment, 23%. France, unemployment, 12%. Youth unemployment, 23%. Who are the people who agreed to go to war? France. I said that. They are saying that unemployment in the United States under the current system is not solvable. Of course they can solve it, but under the current system, it is not solvable. Obama will not do the things necessary to be done to get out of the way of the private sector so that they can start hiring people. The very first thing is to repeal Obamacare. Completely and utterly repeal it. It is not a good thing. Anybody who reads it for 2 seconds understands it. It is not a good thing, and it definitely is not a good thing for an employer. Somebody who's trying to hire people. Obamacare is a nightmare for an employer. Obamacare is a nightmare for an employee. Obama is a nightmare for a citizen. Somebody like me who is self-employed, it is an utter nightmare. It's a stab in the back, the heart, the stomach, the spleen, everything. It's as if they took every sword that they could find and just stabbed me with it. That's what Obamacare is. And that is what it's doing to the economy. And he's trying to delay. And the Congress is saying, you don't have that power. Sorry. There's a lot of things that you're trying to get away with, but that one is not one that you can get away with. So all of a sudden, here comes Syria. Mind you, Egypt is worse. In Egypt, they are burning down Christian and Coptic churches by the score. That means 20 for anybody who doesn't know what score means. By the score. They are burning down churches by the score. And yet, we're not talking about going to World War III in Egypt. In Syria, we barely know. I made a video and I said, what was the top Google lookup for Syria? Where is Syria? People don't even know where it is. They have absolutely no clue what Syria is, where it is, who's Syria. And of course, it wasn't on my radar until they started talking about it either. Now, of course, I am a world traveler, so I know where it is, but it wasn't on my radar. And I didn't understand why it was on anybody's radar. It didn't seem important until, of course, the information started coming out. So the distraction is unemployment and Obamacare. Or, I'm sorry, Syria is the distraction from unemployment and Obamacare. You watching me, if you are an awakened American citizen, if you are an awakened Canadian citizen, or UK citizen, or French citizen, really this video is international. Your countries are preparing to go to war to try and solve a problem. The entire EU is suffering from the highest unemployment in the EU since its inception. Of Europe. I'm not talking about just the inception of EU. I'm talking about of Europe. Rampant unemployment across Europe since we even coined the term Europe. It's the worst it has ever been. UK, unemployment, worst it's ever been. If you are an awakened citizen, I would get active in politics today. That means writing your congressman, senator, parliamentary representative, what have you. Writing them, calling them, emailing them, getting on the horn and saying, stop talking about Syria. Syria is a distraction and we know what's going on. Get out of the way of private sector's unemployment. For America, repeal Obamacare. Repeal it today. It is not a good thing. They already cannot pay for it. It is not a good thing. And if you have a pre-existing condition, you will still have a pre-existing condition and you will not be covered. Illegal aliens are covered under it. That is why they're trying to push for amnesty all of a sudden. Do not listen to people who tell you the good things about Obamacare, because they are all lies. There are death panels. There are illegal aliens covered. There is abortion covered, and we all have to pay for this. We all have to pay for this. Well, there is contraception covered. So we're paying for some woman's proclivity to have as much sex as she wants to, or if you're a religious person, to start handing out condoms to young teenagers, or if you're a religious person, to be paying for abortions of people who just don't have the time, because the left has told women that, oh, it's your body, not that it's a life, it's your body, not that you're murdering an unborn child, it's your body, you're the only one, not that you have a husband who doesn't have a say-so in the matter, it's your body. And has convinced women that that's the right thing to do in this And these, if you want to believe in Armageddon and the apocalypse and all that sort of mess, that these are the signs of the time that, the devil is going to run rampant. And this is a sign of the time that people, satanic people, and let me say this before I get into this. Just because you don't believe in satanic worship does not believe that other people don't believe in satanic worship. Rockefeller, all those rich elite people are Satanists. They believe in their heart of hearts. They really believe that Satan is granting them power. What evidence do they have? They're multi-billionaires. That's a pretty good piece of evidence, isn't it? So in their minds, they are real Satanists. So if they depopulate the earth, if they can destroy the earth, if they can corrupt females into thinking that they're doing the right thing by killing their babies, it's all par for course. It's all a part of their system. It's all a part of their thinking. It's all a part of it. Obamacare is horrible. Horrible. I don't think you understand. Horrible. It is horrible for everybody. Talk about people going from full-time to part-time, going from full hours to part-time hours just to avoid Obamacare, people getting fired left and right to reduce staff just for Obamacare. And the Syria is distracting from that. I would write your congressman, your mayor, your state legislator, your state senator, your governor, become active. The only people who are making noise right now are the homosexuals, the Jews, the Satanists, all of these just people. These are the active people spending millions of dollars in their face, and they're buying them dinners and lunches and what have you, and flying them here and there. You can't do that, but you are not active at all. You're not writing them. You're not calling them. They don't have anybody, and they don't have anybody threatening them and say, hey, you know what, buddy, your time is up. We already know how you're voting. We already know who you're siding with. Your time is up. If they don't hear that, they're not going to stop. They're going to continue. They're going to continue voting for gay rights. They're 1% of the population. They're going to continue voting for gay rights and sending more money to Israel than spending money here in the United States, which is our taxes that they collect from us. Right? I mean, how incredible it is. The Satanists, going with the whole Monsanto and depopulating the United States, and Wall Street devaluing the dollar, and the Fed devaluing the dollar, which is theft, stealing it away from you. These people are in their face, active, speaking to them, emailing them, calling them, and talking to them all the time. What are you doing? You're just sitting at home, going to work, coming home and sleeping. I mean, they're not getting any input from you. If you really care about this, if you're awakened, you will do something. They hear from me all the time. I act like I'm their friend when they pick up. Oh, hi, how are you doing? But, and then I say my piece, and then they sort of go, I don't think we're going to impeach Obama. Anyway. But they have to hear it. They have to hear it. I know some people said, my senator is your senator, Senator Reid, and Senator Reid's like, he has to hear it. He still has to hear it. You need to impeach Obama over this, and this, and make sure that you have it all written out and scripted, and make sure you say what you want to say. Those other people have all of their stuff scripted and written out and say what they're going to say. Senator, today I'm going to talk to you about blah, 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 blah. And this is where we're going to go to. Okay, number one, blah. Scripted, write it out, be active. If we awakened citizens don't actually talk to the representatives or threaten them, they're not going to do anything. You have to be active. Syria is a distraction. We have to tell them repeal Obamacare. That's the first thing that has to get done. Repealing Obamacare. I know people want to say, oh, universal. We don't need universal health care in America. First of all, we don't need universal health care. You know why? Because in the United States, before all of this government trying to get involved in between you and your doctor, before all of this, the people who could afford doctors paid for it in cash. The people who could not afford the doctor, what do you think happened? The people who could afford doctors paid for them in charity, through charity. There was an incomplete charity system in the United States. And the United States, when they did the survey, is the most giving country on the planet. This is aside from taxes. This is aside from foreign aid. This is citizens like you and me donating their money to various charities across the world, across the globe, in various measures, be it charity to microloans, all sorts of stuff. The United States is the most giving. If we repealed Obamacare and repealed this notion that we need the government to get in the middle of somebody and their doctor, we could go back to being charitable. And isn't it much better knowing that you are giving your money to the girl down the street or the guy down the street or the homeless guy, or buying him clothes, buying him blankets and what have you, and then the employer is going hiring people full time and hiring more people and upping his staff. If we get rid of Obamacare, a lot of things will go back to normal. That is, citizens and employers doing what they do best, which is make money. Why are we under attack so much? Why are they trying to destroy America? Because we are the richest country on the planet. Each citizen is really, really rich. I know you don't feel rich, but compared to other countries, you are. We are the richest, and we're the richest market. We're one of the largest concentrations with the richest output from our productivity in the world. I know you want to talk about China, but per capita productivity, United States cannot be beaten. And that is why they're trying to attack, because they want your money. Global warming, they want your money. Obamacare, they want your money. They want your money. That's what's going on. You're the richest country on the planet. Repeal Obamacare. Get on the horn, get on the phone, get on the email. Syria is a distraction. Oh, we need to go. No. We don't need to go to war in Syria. Go to war in Egypt first. Egypt is far more important than Syria. Egypt is far more important than Syria. Go to war in Egypt first. You're not even talking about Egypt, right? Right, Obama? You're not even talking about Egypt. You don't even care about Egypt. In fact, you're giving foreign aid to Egypt as we stand in the millions today, right now, even after what has happened, even after what I have reported. They are still giving foreign aid to Egypt right now. And they're not talking about going to war in Egypt. But it is far more serious than anything in Syria. If Syria really is a civil war, then it's a civil war. There needs to be no international stepping in of anything. We need to sit back and wait for the dust to settle. So that's what you need to do. Get on the horn, tell them, repeal Obamacare, and after repealing Obamacare, take all of these regulations away so that employers can hire people. We don't need 5,000 new regulations every month that employers have to adhere to. There is nothing that important in the world. There is nothing that life-threatening in the world. There's nothing that a few reasonable common sense regulations can't take care of for an entire industry, an entire market. No, you don't dunk your employer's head in the fryer or the French fryer. Okay, that's common sense. But we don't need the French fryer has to be 2 inches away from that. What is that? What does that do? What does that do for anybody? That does nothing for anybody. All it does is make the employer have to spend more time and money and more capital and resources trying to follow those stupid regulations than he could employing another American. And that's what's really going on. Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show. Like the video so other people can see it. And please subscribe. Thank you.